last thing, if we have time to get to it, I don't know. What do you
Why
guys
not?
think? Should we talk
Of
about
course, we
Spurs?
always have time.
Because we're right on
When
the hour.
Mourinho, when
We'll
Mourinho
give it
is
10 minutes,
involved,
but let's not
let's
make it
talk
too long
about
for
Spurs.
people. Yeah, we should talk about it. So Spurs right now in the wretched. I mean, we kind of talked about Liverpool, which is why I'm saying just Spurs. But I guess we can talk about Liverpool
No,
later.
that's a good. Really.
But I think that they have a lot of the same issues. Wretched form in 2021. It's crazy to think about because I was just thinking about it yesterday. In the first 9 games, Spurs were top of the table. They had 20 points. And 9 times 27. And now we played 24 games and they have 36 points. So in almost twice as many games as the first 9, they have 4 less points, which is just quite ridiculous to think about. Spurs are going on a losing streak that I never expected. But and I think there are a lot of, and we'll talk a little bit about why. I think there are lots of reasons beyond what the clickbait reasons are that everybody has. But it's really bad right now, and we're interested to at least start off with Chinedu. What do you think's gone wrong? How do you think this can be fixed going forward?
Well, what I think has gone wrong primarily is obviously them losing Harry Kane, which is sad to say, but it's the reality. Is they lost their talisman player, and they just don't know how to play without him. They look lost in the games. Sorry.
So did Leicester.
No. I'm not giving them excuse. Don't get me wrong. You just give me some small ginger.
You interrupt like that, they force me to interrupt too. Because Vardy has not been as instrumental for Leicester this season at all.
However, Fayem's.
Who's Leicester's talisman? Who's their main goal scorer?
This season, numbers wise, you say Vardy, but Vardy is having zero impact on games if you're watching those games.
Except scoring, that's a huge impact.
No, like when he doesn't, because it's just like he's there to, most of them, one, a lot of them are penalties, and two, a lot of them are just literally like the Liverpool goal, like 3 things. No, Vardy had like literally like 5 or 6 penalties out of his 11 Premier League goals. Vardy and Bruno are dragging for most penalties this season. So that's a big part of it. The player that's really important to how they're playing this season is Harvey Barnes. And I think
if Vardy is not there, they are bringing in Jose Perez or Kelechi, and you're telling me they won't have an impact on their team?
Who's still scoring?
Yeah, why are they still scoring? Is it coaching?
No, I'm telling you, because Vardy's impact this season, Vardy is already like 35. Like his impact.
Bro, you need someone. You can't say someone that's scoring your goals doesn't have an impact.
Doesn't have an impact.
Of course, Kane is more playmaker, but let's not make the same excuse.
That's his job. Yeah, and I say this. What are you guessing?
That would be the same as you guys saying. That would be the same as you guys saying. Let me think of a good example. Say someone like Aubameyang or something that's not impacting Arsenal's game, but still Arsenal's top scorer because he's out is why Arsenal isn't playing well. That's just not true. And if we're watching the games, it's just not true.
If Aubameyang is not in, if Aubameyang, first of all, he's playing on the left, which is a bit different. But if he's not in the team, but Arsenal fans would definitely make an excuse if he's not in the team, if they're not winning games. But Leicester, they didn't make any excuses. That happened. Kelechi came in, did the job. The players will come and do the job, and Maddison took more responsibility. Because Maddison was, if you remember, Maddison didn't, his numbers at the start of the season weren't that great. And he said, after he was called out, after the likes of Bruno and these guys were doing a madness, he said that he felt he had to step up his game.
Exactly.
So Vardy left, and he stepped up his game. So you don't make excuses to do the job. Sorry.
And I remember, I was just going to say, I remember, and I'm going to eventually, at the end of this, my talk, I'm going to ask for an apology from Fayens, because I remember talking about 2 things. Number 1, Maddison stepping up his game and actually being hopefully called up to the English squad. And number 2, the whole thing about Spurs and their squad depth. And we had a debate on this show, and we talked about whether or not Spurs indeed has squad depth. And Emeka and I were of the opinion that really they don't, that they are actually in trouble if the likes of Kane or Son get injured. And you sat here, FIMs, and said, they are fine, they have Bergwijn. So why is Bergwijn and Lucas Moura, why are they not doing the same thing that Kane should be doing? If they really have that squad depth. Yeah, that's a real question. That's actually a question.
Do you want to answer?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still going. I thought you were still saying things.
No. Go ahead. Answer the
Bergwijn has been poor this season.
Correct.
Bergwijn has been poor. Pretty much, if we look at his entire Spurs career, most of his Spurs career, just the goals haven't come, and and we don't know why he gets some good chances and just isn't clinical in front of goal. Lucas Moura has been very, very poor. On paper, you wouldn't tell me that when the season started, coming off of, I think, was it 2 seasons ago? Maybe it was 2 seasons ago when he scored that amazing hat-trick against Ajax and was doing so many amazing things for Spurs. They told you at the start of the season that Lucas Moura was in the second team. And I said, wow, that's a strong second team. Yeah, we've been proved wrong based on performances because Lucas Moura has been, every time I watch him, I'm very annoyed. He's been playing horribly. He loses the ball cheaply. He's not as dynamic in the final third. And some of the form is coming back, at least in the last few games. He scored a couple of times, but that's also been poor. At the start of the season, like all the players that we spoke at the start on paper looked good. Nobody knew how bad Joe Hart had gotten. When you saw Joe Hart as the second team keeper, like, oh, that's decent. Davinson Sanchez starting the second team centre back, that looked decent at the start of the season. Tanganga, I'll still hold on to that. Very good defender. If that's your second team centre back, that's very good. Matt Doherty off of the team, the season he had at Wolves, if that's your starting right back in your second team, that's pretty good too. Ben Davies has been at Spurs for 5+ seasons. That's your starting left back. That's pretty good. You have Harry Winks. You have Giovanni Lo Celso, who is a very good player in your midfield in your second team. That's very good. Carlos
So where has it gone
9 goals, almost double digits, having played almost no minutes. That's very good. Gareth Bale, who is Gareth Bale in your second team at the start of the season, you're like, wow, that's very good. And who else would be in? Like, those are all players that we also on the second team. I was like, okay, yeah, like that's a very.
Where has it all gone wrong?
I don't think so.
The players aren't performing.
Just
that the players aren't performing, and also they've been littered with injuries.
I just
almost every player I've called has gotten injured.
I find it very, 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 very hard to like absolve a manager of any responsibility. And I'm not saying you are, but it comes off as you are. When your entire, like you say, okay, your first team is not performing, okay, fine and good. Then your second team is not performing as well. So like, who is actually like, what's the manager's role there? Where do they take responsibility? At what point does Mourinho take responsibility for making his team play football? At what point?
One of the things I'll never do is I'll never blame, and I think we're being very unfair on Jose Mourinho. I never blame a manager for professional internationals with multiple caps and lots of experience in Europe and in top leagues in Europe and in European competitions making very simple, stupid, basic mistakes. That's what Mourinho means by I have no control over that. Mourinho's not going to, that's what he said when he was coaching Ronaldo. You're not going to teach Ronaldo how to take a free kick. The same way you're not going to teach Eric Dyer how to mark from a corner or how to not give the ball away right from your keeper and put your team under pressure. Or Dele Alli not to lose the ball when you're in transition and have them counter-attack and score against you. There's certain things that the manager is not responsible for the players just being stupid on the pitch or just being lazy or just being poor. Like there's been a lot of things where you just look and say, that is poor. The goal against Liverpool, because of the rift between Mourinho and Aurier, letting Mane get in like that. Dyer also just not clean the ball. That was just poor. Like what's Mourinho supposed to do about that?
Let me just to touch on that. So first thing you mentioned about Mourinho saying, "Oh, there's some things out of his control." It seems to be a pattern, no? There are things out of his control at United. Apparently, certain players he couldn't control this. He couldn't control the mistakes. Okay, so you say his mistakes. Okay, so he's picking the team, right? And you say they have a lot of good players. Picking the team. This same team, when they had a great run in 9 games, he was saying how he has better players than he had at United. And those same players are the same players playing badly now. So it's been a run of 2 wins in about 11 games. So is it all mistakes? Before they went on the run, we were saying how they were winning games, they were drawing games, but a lot of those times they didn't put a foothold on the games, and a lot of them they actually kind of managed to get out of it unscathed, where they should probably have dropped points, and they weren't playing well. And now they're on this run. So now they're on this run, and now it's a thing of you're saying, okay, Eric Dyer is making mistakes all the time. You drop Toby Alderweireld, but you keep on playing Eric Dyer, and everybody can see that the guy is struggling, but you keep on playing Eric Dyer. You have your favorites. He played favorites in United as well. Dele Alli, you completely shunned him for months. It's fine that you want to give a player a kick off the backside, kick up the backside, and you drop him for a while. You drop him for months, and now you're trying to integrate him into the team, and you think he's going to work hard for you. So they're just testing things. I'm not saying it's all Mourinho's fault. I don't believe. And if you see my tweets, if anybody that knows me knows I was one of those guys that I stuck my neck out for Mourinho at the time because I thought those guys were failing him. I remember I bashed Pogba because I thought it was all Pogba disrespecting Mourinho. But Mourinho has to take some blame because when things aren't going well, I just feel he does struggle. I'm not saying, again, it's all his fault because I feel he does struggle to handle those things. And unfortunately, the clubs he has taken over at the moment, there are problems. And the reason why he's in those jobs because those teams weren't particularly good enough at the time. So he also has to be able to keep players on side as well as, but he has to be a bit more proactive and try and be a bit more proactive in what he does because he doesn't have the best players. So when he keeps on doing what he's doing with Eric Dyer at the back and you're losing, you can't say, oh, it's Eric Dyer's fault. Eric Dyer should know. Then why are you picking Eric Dyer?
I'll pick on a couple of things that you said. One of the things, and those are really good points, and thanks for raising them. One of them on the point about Eric Dyer, and we saw this on that pitch as well. Alderweireld has had, ever since that major hamstring injury he had 3 seasons ago, he has not been able to play those 3 back-to-back matches, playing weekend, playing Euro, playing weekend again. They have to just manage him. He's a very good defender when he's playing, but there's always that risk of him getting that injury again, which is why he can't be that mainstay in the defense first choice.
He's been dropped.
He's not. He's basically just they're managing him. He's not been dropped. When Mourinho thinks of his starting 11, he's going to play Dyer and Alderweireld. That's my thinking. Reguilon was very, very important to how Spurs are playing at the start of the season. He's been out for a ton of time. That really destroys a lot of the stuff that they tried to do attacking wise and from a counter-attacking perspective. Obviously, we saw Kane out. Son, they played 48 games, which is probably the most of any team in Europe this season. And Son has pretty much played every one of those games. Son is tired. Gareth Bale didn't live up to the expectations that we had. When Mourinho came in, it's the same things that we said that I just mentioned to you. All those players, you saw them on paper and you're like, wow, this is a pretty decent squad. When you see them playing, like, oh, okay, I was wrong about that. Like, yeah, he thought they were so amazing and then he saw them, they're not as good as he thought. And that's just the way.
Okay, watch it because I ask you, like, so from watching Spurs, and again, I'm not trying to bash Mourinho because the tactics were working at the start. Like I said, there are different things. You can say fatigue, but I don't want to use fatigue because the big teams are all playing a lot of games. They're struggling, their injuries, maybe some more than others, and Spurs have had some injuries, so fair enough. But you can't say that's the reason why you win 2 out of 11 and you're playing really badly. But I want to ask, like, what are you seeing? What is Mourinho trying to do? Because what we saw at the start of the season that was working perfectly for them. They were defending much better, to be fair to him, that they organized better. And he said, like, Reguilon was a fantastic find for them and added a lot to their play. But a lot of their goals, you know how the pattern was. Kane to Son was the pattern that they used to score a lot of goals. And Ndombele creating a bit of magic in the middle, doing his thing. And again, like I said, the fullbacks, Aurier and Reguilon were very important. And they played quite high at the start of the season, which again, I don't know, I guess it's been a bad run of form and they're sitting back. But what is Mourinho trying to do with this team? What do you think? Like, what do you see? What patterns do you see? Like, what is he trying to do? Is he still just trying to play Kane to Son, or is he trying anything different? Because 2 wins out of the level, you say like you should try something different, try other personnel. So what is he trying to do?
Yeah, I get the points about other personnel, but things like even legislating for even Lloris is in a wretched run of form. Like individual players are just being very poor right now, and I don't think that is. Like a manager cannot make a player better than the player is like manager sends them with instructions, but ultimately what they do on the pitch and the level of quality that they bring is down to the players. Like even if you watch the West Ham game, there was a great opportunity for Kane to put a ball in for Spurs to equalize late in the game, and he just messed it up.
But I need you to split it though, because I feel you're blaming players. Players' bad form alone cannot be the reason why. That's even before your 7. Like you again, the way we said it before, like the principles, like the way they were playing, they were dropping a bit. They were a bit too fearful. They were dropping a bit too much, and now things are just started snowballing. And when it starts snowballing, I can say with Liverpool, they just keep on snowballing. So players' form drops, confidence drops. Mourinho again, he's a bit touchy. So I'm sure even in this moment, not just how he is.
I think he's managed them all right. Like he hasn't thrown anyone on that bus. I think he hasn't said.
He's done better than other clubs. I think he's learned over the years.
Yeah, no, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I'm saying even how he's dropped certain players. And like he's dropped, you say he hasn't dropped other, but he hasn't played in like 3-4 games.
What does Dele Alli bring?
But my point is, so in this run, you also have to blame the manager. Yes, some players aren't playing well, but this run of form, like the manager has to take some culpability, especially how they've been playing, not just individuals. You can't. Yes. It's not just individuals that can make you win 2 out of it.
I mean, I'm very hesitant to, obviously, any team that has won twice in 11, the manager has to take some blame for that. But I'm very hesitant to pour the blame on the manager. That's why I started like that. But yeah, obviously, they have not quite found a way to play without Kane effectively enough. He's been trying to find attacking solutions for kind of that disconnect between the deep line midfield and the attack. So that's why I tried to bring in people like Lamela, tried to find solutions with Bergwijn, with Bale, and they're still trying to figure that out. And people that
you said he hasn't handled Gareth Bale well.
I think he has. Gareth Bale has not been.
No. I think Gareth Bale's won
to full fitness. Like, he hasn't been able to play Bale as much as he wants to. Bale has even said it himself. Like, Mourinho has been just easing him back in, and I think now Bale is ready to play. I don't think that was a Mourinho thing at all.
After the Europa League game that Bale played, he scored 2 goals, I believe, or a goal, and that you should have started West Ham.
You can't start him after that because that's how you revert back to the old and Bale get injured again.
Yeah, your job is on the line. I feel that game. I don't feel he necessarily trusts Bale fully, and I hope Bale starts because he showed for the first time against West Ham. He actually showed glimpses. Like, the pace isn't there anymore, but that technique, the shooting ability, he still has it.
So I think Mourinho said it after the game that it would be unrealistic to expect Bale to play on Thursday and start on
We'll see. Because he's made, we'll see.
Think about it. All the teams that played on Thursday, bar Leicester, lost.
United.
We're just poor. Because Newcastle pretty much outplayed you in the first half, and then it was basically a quality thing that helped you get past them. Arsenal, poor. Leicester, second half, very poor. And who was the last team? Tottenham lost. Like, that does take a toll on you playing on Thursday. So I think that was what it was. And I'm hesitant to say it's all on the manager because also
it's not all on
Liverpool. Like, you can't say this is all on Klopp.
It's not all on the manager.
No. I think when I said what I said, I wasn't even saying like it's all on Mourinho. It just sounds like we're absolving him of all responsibility. And like, it's not just all poor form of player.
I know the balance starts a bit because like whenever stuff like this happens, they're always like, the manager.
But that's what he does.
It's same as Southampton. Like, Southampton have lost like 6 games in a row. It's not Hassan Hutu's fault. Like, they literally have 11 players with no bench.
Mourinho coming out saying like, okay, his coaching methods are second to none, or the fact that that there are things outside of his control. Like, just shut up and like don't
you know what I mean by out of his control?
Yeah, but why is he saying that? Like, which other manager says?
He's saying that to basically take the pressure off of his players.
Bro, you think that's what that is?
That's not
my coaching team is next to no, we still believe in what we're doing. We're focused.
The statements about things going on outside my control.
That is the teams that are comparing him to, I believe. And things one of the things that's out of his control, like I said, is you can't legislate for internationals making such mistakes on the pitch. 2, injuries out of his control. 3, a lot of the teams that people look at and say, wow, this team is doing amazing. Teams like Man City, different level.
Bro, which manager ever comes out to say like, oh, my mistakes are outside his control? Like, you just take it. Because you're picking those players that are making mistakes week in, week out.
Yeah.
You didn't say my mistakes out of my control.
No, but you said things outside his control.
Yes, there are things out of his control.
Well, who says that? Like,
things like the financial situation, things like Man City being able to go spend 60 million on Ruben Diaz, and City and Tottenham couldn't even spend 43 million on Skriniar. Like, there's just a completely different financial constraint for Mourinho that's out of his control.
If you heard the question he was asked, it's definitely not in relation to City signings. He was talking about the results.
No, I've heard everything, but when it said the results, everything. This is a building phase for Tottenham. And they don't have the funds to rebuild like other teams or to strengthen like other teams. So the team is not that much better than it was last season.
They strengthened more than most. Say that.
Where?
They strengthened more than most this summer.
Yes. More than a lot. A lot.
Come on. Let's
look to wrap this episode up because we're running
in the coach, he strengthened more than most teams.
What was net spend? Net spend was really low. Net spend was really low.
You were extremely excited about their signings.
No, I thought they signed where they needed to, except for a centre back that they wanted to. But things like City can literally afford to spend so much on Riyad Mahrez and not play Ferran Torres.
But no one is asking them to be on City's level. I don't think anyone in the Premier League currently.
But that's who they're competing. That's who people like. When it was a lot of this came when they lost to City like 3-0. They're completely different.
Forget Man City. Spurs are 9th, but competing millions. Everybody that it's just about having a respectable position on the table. And Spurs are 9th.
Yeah, I don't think even United are second can talk about City and their improvement and their play. It's not. There's City and then there's the other teams, and that's.
I mean, even United have come on. The amount of money that United have spent on transfers, Spurs are not in that cut, but they're trying to be with results.
So essentially, what you're saying is that we should be comparing Spurs to teams like West Ham in terms of recruitment. Is that what you're saying? In terms of what we should expect from their...
I'm saying the budget doesn't match the expectations that people put on Spurs, and it's kind of unfair. And that's what Mourinho is mentioning when he says things out of his control.
You don't expect them to be 9th, especially when
they should never be 9th. They should never ever be 9th. But the expectation doesn't match. But even teams like Chelsea just went out and spent how many $100 million?
If Spurs were actually challenging for top 4, nobody would be saying anything now.
Yeah, no, I think Spurs should never be where they are right now.
Well, that's literally what it is. So there's no excuse for that. No matter how much your budget is compared to Man City, you shouldn't be 9th. And that's really all it is.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up there.
Great episode. Anything else you guys want to add?
No. FPL, great week.
This guy, you've been what is it called? You're milking this until it goes poorly for you. Don't worry.
I'm at 150 right now.
Beginner's luck.
150?
150. Yeah, I'm top 150. Yeah.
150K.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 150. I was like, No,
150K. No. I went from 1.6 mil to 50K like the last 3 months.
Oh, that's still mad, though.
It's still mad, but guy, top 150, guy. That was guy.
This is just my 3rd season. I'm guessing they're doing.
I'm gonna catch up to you though, but yeah, it was an okay week. I think you probably had Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford. That's probably
no. I only had one of them. I had Rafinha, but I had Bruno captain. I just captain Bruno every week. Antonio did well. City double up. I was sure they were not going to consider Arsenal, so that was calm. Pope, I got Pope, which was good.
No hits.
Rashi as well. I just did a double transfer, so I had -4. But yeah, that's all. No hits.
Unai Emery masterclass. That's what you have to drop next.
Yeah, you're my target. I'm coming for you.
Come through right here.
Okay. Fighting words. Whether you're analyzing the game, doing a deep dive. Wait, do you want to do it today?
Nah, bro, you got it. You got it, bro. You got the shades on and everything, bro.
Whether you're analyzing the game, doing a deep dive, or sharing your opinion on social media, just ask yourself, do I really know ball? Thank you.